And in the immortal words of Woody from Toy Story, howdy, howdy, howdy. Hey, it is Tuesday. It is my sugar is 260, so my head is kind of spinning around, and I'm glad it's Pam's turn because I don't know if I could string a whole sentence together. So take it away, Pam.
Awesome. Well, we want to welcome with us tonight Miss Brenda Mason. She is the founder of Kansas Paranormal Research Society out of Topeka. And we're really happy to have you here with us tonight.
Thank you.
Yay!
Welcome. Yes, welcome.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
So when did you
And
start your team? No.
we were talking a
Sorry,
little bit
sorry.
backstage, inside joke.
I told you don't ask that. Don't ask
No,
my
thank
age either.
And
So, Brenda, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your team?
um, I'm a mother of two very grown boys. They're in their 30s. One is 38. Um, and I've been married for 39 years.
Congratulations.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, I got married very young. Um, I just turned 60 last October.
You're lying.
And no, I'm
You're
not.
lying.
No, I'm not.
Fibber, fibber, fibber.
No, I'll be 61 this coming October. Yeah. And I always had this feeling that somebody was around me, even when I was little. And I used to have tea parties with a little boy, and his name was Bradley. And one day my mom asked me who I was playing with. And I said, Bradley. And she said, What? And I said, I'm playing with Bradley. Apparently, I did not know, of course, at that time, that I had had a brother that had passed away before I was born,
Oh, wow.
Wow.
and I was playing with him.
Wow.
Wow.
And I was just a little kid. So, I mean, like less than two.
Oh,
So
my
Wow.
goodness.
I've had gifts, I guess, my whole life, and I try not to use them when I'm on an investigation. I don't want to. We try to go specifically off of scientific evidence and
Yeah.
not off of psychic evidence.
Mhm.
Because you can't prove that. There's no way you can prove that. Um,
Mhm.
I think I've said that a couple times.
yeah, there's no way you can prove that.
172.
Uh,
Yeah.
but now my Devin, my case manager, she will get all the information about a case and not tell me. I don't get anything but the address.
Mhm.
And um and then if I do get any information come through, I call it spirit vomit because
Oh, yeah.
I'll just
Mhm.
start spewing stuff.
Yep.
I'll just start saying stuff, into the microphone, into the recorder, and then I give her the recorder, and she goes through and finds all the details that were correct.
Huh.
And
That's cool.
so
Hmm.
that's kind of how we do it, but I still stick to the scientific side. Um,
So, are you the only woo-woo person on the team?
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah.
That's
So,
cool.
And
so do you walk through by yourself or with somebody?
no,
And
we're never alone.
well,
I
I'm
won't.
sorry. I meant, do you walk through without her being there?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. We're always. I'm not in a group with her. She stays at the base station,
Okay.
and we set up all of our night vision cameras. Run them.
Hmm.
We had the crew sets them up. The guys set them up, and we have 12 night vision cameras on stand, and they run the cords out and put them in the room and put the recorders with the cameras,
Mhm.
and we start the recorders and we start the camera so that it's synced up, and um, then when we start investigating, everything's synced up. We say investigation starting at such time, and then end investigation, and at such a time, and we have we used to have a lot of people on our team, like over 20,
Oh
That's too
wow.
much. That's too much to
and
manage.
Mm.
I think too
yeah,
many.
well, but we at one point we did 52 investigations, and we only did them on the weekends
Hmm.
and usually Saturday night. And we took November and December off. So we were having to split up. I have two full sets of equipment. And so one group would take one set of equipment, and another group would take a set of equipment. And somebody may be going to Missouri, and somebody may be going to Manhattan or something. And
So we're too much of control freaks for our team.
we,
So we always afraid to send our
yeah,
team without me or my wife Tina because you know
well, I
it's
always sent
our
somebody,
team.
yeah, I always sent somebody that I knew was,
Trust
that
me.
I trusted.
Yeah,
Trustworthy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And that year really burned us all out pretty bad.
I get
That's
it.
a
So
lot.
how were you even able to really do a good job or complete an investigation? Because it usually takes more than one trip.
Mhm.
It was constant. It was constant work, and then we had to evaluate everything, go
Yeah.
back and
Right.
do reveals
Right.
to the families and the people and the businesses,
So
and
how long is like a typical investigation? Like you're doing a house. I'm having you come do my house. I have a 2,600 split level home, 2,600 foot square.
it would depend if it's like fishing, you know.
Yeah,
If the fish are biting, we might not be there very long, or if they're not, we may be there a while waiting for the fish to bite.
yeah.
Know? So, or if the fish are really biting good, we may stay for a while.
That's, see, see,
Sometimes
Mhm.
we
it's hard to leave if
Yeah,
it's really good.
well, I totally understand because we were really busy too. We were the only paranormal team in this area for quite a while, and I forgot what we did in 2007 and 2008. We were doing uh, investigations on Friday night and then an investigation on Saturday night, and
yeah,
we did this and did this and did this. And one time, our son asked Tina and said, "Hey, want to take y'all out to eat?" And she had to schedule him out like 4 months later
yeah.
Oh,
because and
Mm.
she just put the brakes on right then there. She's like, okay, we need to stop this. So
Yeah,
we slowed way down. But do you like specialize in homes, or are you just like
we
wherever I?
do homes and businesses, and whoever calls needs help,
yeah.
and we are there for them in the long run,
Yeah,
for the long haul. We don't just go and do the investigation and go back and do the reveal and let them know what we found or whatever. If there is something there, then we'll give them our advice. We have a pastor that works with the team,
oh, that's good. I like that.
and he will come in and give his advice. And if they follow what he tells them to do, then they're usually okay. And we had one couple that did not follow what he told them to do, and this was an actual demonic case.
Mm.
And I caught its name on my recorder, and I was working at the time, and I was working remote from home, and I'm typing, and I had my headphones on, and I'm listening to my recorder, and I hear this name, this growly name, and I just threw my headphones off, and I called our pastor that works for the team, and I'm like, Dave, I know this was a demon. This is what it said. And he goes, don't say it. Text it to me.
Mhm.
Don't say it.
Yeah, don't give it
And
power.
yeah. And
Mhm.
I texted it to him, and he said, okay, delete that file now and get rid of it. And he said that is an upper level demon. That's not one of the little, let's send them in beforehand.
The little
You know,
nuisance guys. Yeah.
it was
See,
it was
we all have our theories, and I got into this strictly from a Christian standpoint, and I think we all have our demons, and the whole angel on your shoulder and the devil on the other shoulder, and
shoulder. Yeah.
you know the Muslims that has it like 10,000 and 10,000. So, and I think they're always there, and that push and pull from either side. So we always got to do that, and I think that's always there. And then every now and then you come across, like say, one of the big ones, and then they're like, attention, and that's when you have trouble because it's not a single demon you're facing. It may say there's one speaking, but he's speaking like legion. We are many. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bad deal. No, I
And
think
it picked me up and slammed me against a door while we were trying to do a house blessing
yeah,
with holy salts, blessed salts, and and holy water.
uh huh,
And
Mhm.
he was doing the prayers. And I'm ordained. Several of
Mhm.
us are ordained to help him do blessings in houses. And I was picked up, my feet were off the ground, and I was held up against a door,
Holy cow.
and I'm just, like, screaming, and he starts throwing holy water at me, and it wasn't hitting me, so there was something there, because
Mm.
I never got anything on me, and then I just dropped, and, but the couple didn't do anything we told them to do to keep this at bay after we felt like that we had gotten it out, and we were there for hours, and we were exhausted by the time we had done everything, and found out later that one of them had been in a car wreck a couple of weeks later and had broken almost every bone in his body
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
and was in a rehab hospital for like a year.
Wow.
Wow.
Mhm.
I was going to ask. Well, it sounds like you do mostly private investigations. You don't really go out public stuff or
Yeah, we do a lot of public stuff. We've
fun
done a lot of
stuff. And
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
but you do a lot of private ones. But on
yeah.
the one you were just talking about, I was wondering if since they didn't follow the instructions, the homeowners, do you think that they were enticed to entrap you guys?
That's a good question.
Oh, I don't know. That's a
You
good
know,
question.
because
They may have been.
if that's the place where you got the name, and knowing that there was going to be a priest there or a clergy
Pat,
there,
yeah,
yeah, that it could have been kind of a type of entrapment.
because they did call and want us to come back out, and we tried to set up a date with them, and then they would never call back to set a date up, and
That
so
Mhm.
happens.
we've never stayed in touch with them.
Yeah.
yeah.
You
Well,
can't
you
force
can.
them to take help. So
Yeah,
we've run into that before.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem walking away from thing if they're not if they're we drove like hours out into Oklahoma in the middle of nowheresville, and it was supposed to be a demonic haunting. So they called me specifically. I'm like, okay, well, let's go out there and do that. I go out with another team, and so we went out there, and I was talking with the client, and he was talking about this stuff and how his girlfriend was dragged down the hall by her hair and all this stuff, and I'm listening to him talk, and then I go into my side. I come at it from one direction only, and he's like, "Oh, I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe in that." I said, "Well, then I can't help you." Ta-ta.
See you
So,
later. You could have saved yourself a drive and just done that over
yeah,
the phone.
I should have, and now I know better.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
yeah, no, they called us out, and it's like, okay, well, it's a demon. Uh, there'll be people that disagree with me. I don't care. But I think there's only one way to handle that. And
Yeah.
and if you take that weapon away from me, then there's no need for me to be there. Because what am I
Yeah.
going to do? What am I going to do? Document it? I don't
Yeah,
want to
if that's
document
in
a
your
demon.
arsenal.
I dealt with one demon. That's enough.
Yeah.
Have you go ahead.
Huh?
Have you ever dealt with any elemental energies?
Elemental?
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Like
I don't.
fae or like anything that's like nature spirits? We've had to deal with a couple of those here in Oklahoma.
Like what? What kind?
Like nature spirits.
Nature spirits?
Mm-hmm.
Brenda sounds like me.
I'm
I,
like,
lo- I
I
love
don't. I'm
it.
like,
I don't believe in I don't believe in
Chris,
nature spirits
okay,
either. So don't worry about it.
well, I
I've dealt
do.
with them. We've
I
dealt
do,
with
I
but
them.
do.
Christy, can you explain that better for her? What that
yeah.
even means?
Yeah,
What that
absolutely.
kind of means, and to the public
Yeah,
too, our billions of
yeah, sure.
fans.
A billion.
Absolutely. So
I mean,
nature spirits,
I saw Bigfoot when I was a kid, but
right.
Cool.
This is a bit
Awesome.
different.
I saw him as
So
an adult. Well, go ahead.
nature spirits are spirits that live in the forest or live around more unpopulated places, but they can be closer as well. Dryads live in trees. There are the fae or the kindly neighbors who live in things, and they come from a lot of Irish folklore, but people think that they do not exist. But there has been many cases, and we have dealt with a couple with them ourselves. There are those that live underground. There are things that live in hills. They've been here way before we have.
so that would uh, my case manager Devin and I talk a lot about kind of stuff like that.
Mhm.
And that would be where like the Dover Lights in Arkansas would come in,
Hmm.
where
Mm.
it's this steep hill, and there's
Mhm.
this light that lights
Mhm.
up at night, and it just moves around, and it's
Mhm.
Yeah.
my cousin. My cousin lived there,
Hmm.
and they would go every night and watch this light, and then in the daytime they went several times, and they were like, there's no way a human could even get down there
Mhm.
to build a fire or have a flashlight or fly a drone because the forest was too thick.
Mhm.
Um, and it's been going on for hundreds of years. So this was pre-drone time,
Yeah.
Right.
and it's every night at the same time.
Mhm.
It's a nightly thing,
Yeah.
and she's taken pictures of it.
That's
So I totally believe in them.
Mhm.
But we haven't dealt with them. Well, we were on an investigation in old Abilene town in Abilene, Kansas,
hmm.
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
we had an earthquake while we were there,
Oh my.
Oh
and
my.
that kind of stirred some activity up. Um,
Mhm.
and we had some really strange things go on, just strange energies, really strange energies, and things like that
Mhm.
happen afterwards. And so I don't know if that would
That's
follow
interesting.
down
That yeah.
that path.
That could
Uh,
be absolutely.
yeah,
Because that's all part of nature,
It
yeah,
uh,
is.
even though
Yeah.
it's geology too. But
Right.
But Christy,
Well,
just a quick question on that. On Fae,
Sure.
are we also talking about like fairies and those type
Hmm.
of? Are those
Yes,
in that same class?
Yep.
they are. Yeah, and there's two kinds of fairies.
elemental.
There's right. Yes, they're
Stop,
Seelie
Adrian.
and unseelie. The
Okay.
Seelie are the ones who are less aggressive, and the unseelie ones are the ones who are a bit more aggressive. But yeah, that's in the same elemental.
Okay.
Gnomes, sprites,
Gnome sprites.
dryads, all of those things are kind of in the same category.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
My
I'm
favorite
sorry.
are dryads. I like to hug trees.
That's awesome.
See, I'm so
Yeah.
skeptical on things. So I like I when the way I look at elementals is that's just one of those things that they use these ideas to explain why flowers open and close and stuff like that. So
Well,
I have a hard time dealing with the elementals in the paranormal realm. I put those squarely in the fantasy realm because I've never encountered anything like
right.
Wait until you
until
have dirty, wet footprints
Yeah.
show up in your hallway,
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
have
and
dirty
then
think
you'll
that
be
happens
like,
all the time. I'm a
think about
man.
think about it this way, Adrian.
Well, that's
Adrian,
from
think
your
about this.
devil dog.
Think about it this way though.
Now I've
Everything is
seen a devil
energy,
dog.
right? And so
I've seen
everything
the
that has energy carries energy. So trees, flowers, everything has energy in
exactly.
it. Souls are energy too.
Yes.
So everything is connected, but it also has, not that it has a soul like us. Like plants are different. They have more of a root system and they're all connected.
So like I said, I've always had issues with stuff like that. But
Uh,
Yeah.
all that
I've
caveat is I didn't believe in ghosts either until I encountered one.
Yeah. My dad didn't either until I started doing this, and then he became
mhm,
my number one fan
Yeah.
that's
mhm,
awesome.
after some things
yeah.
happened at their house.
Yeah.
And rest in peace, love you, daddy. 4 years ago, he passed away, and
Mm,
my world was shattered.
I'm so sorry.
And um, it just hasn't been the same. But um, he
He's still
he loved.
around helping.
Oh,
He is.
he's
Hmm.
here all the
Absolutely
time.
he is.
For
When
sure.
I'm in the bedroom and my husband's gone to work during the day and I'm in the bedroom doing something and I hear our alarm system say back door open,
Uh,
kitchen door open, and I
So
walk in and all the cupboard doors are open,
Oh wow.
yeah.
I'll go, "Okay, daddy.
So just to let you know,
That's enough.
I'm a
That's enough."
professional psychic medium, and I'm trying to hold back messages. I'm like, nope, this is not what this is about. So,
And I
uh,
just close them all back and close the
hmm,
doors, and
hmm,
the back door was locked, and I locked the back door.
yeah.
So
And if I hear back door open, I head that way, but I'll have gun in hand.
I
So
Just in case.
I don't when it does that, I don't really worry about it because I know it's gonna be him.
yeah.
I know it's gonna be
Had
him.
he spoke to you?
Yeah.
That's
I
wild.
actually had a near death experience 4 months after he died.
Oh wow.
oh
Um
wow,
I had was on some medication and it caused me to start having breathing issues,
Oh no.
oh my gosh,
and
scary.
my husband had to call an ambulance, and because of COVID they couldn't do any kind of breathing treatment or anything,
Yeah.
Oh my
and
gosh.
So stupid.
I passed out. I was unconscious by the time they got to the hospital, and I wasn't breathing,
Oh,
and they I don't know what all they tried to do because I wasn't awake, but then all of a sudden I was like floating over the bed and I could
hmm,
see them taking my clothes off and doing all this stuff to me and how many nurses were in there and how many doctors, and they had on yellow gowns and the shields on their faces, and um they were going to put a tracheostomy in my throat, and um my dad showed up on my right side, this yellow and white bright light
Mhm.
real bright, shining light showed up. And I said, Daddy, I want to go with you. And he said, you can't, baby. You can't, sugar. You gotta stay here. He said, there's something you need to take care of, and there's something you need to see. And
Wow.
and so then it was like I was just sucked back in, and I went
Mhm.
and took
Yep.
a breath, and they were like, "Oh my god." They were just literally just getting ready to,
Yeah, they're getting ready to intubate
Call
you.
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
and
Mhm.
I they said, and I was crying, and I was saying, "Daddy, daddy," and they said, "Do you want your dad?" And I said, "My dad's dead."
Mm.
And I remember the nurses all looking at each other like, this isn't the first time we've heard this,
Yeah. Well,
you know.
Yeah.
I've been in medical since 1985, and
And
I've been in a lot of codes and heard a lot of crazy things. Yeah.
yeah, and
Mhm.
so 2 weeks later, my service dog was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh man.
Man.
Mm.
So that was what I needed to take care of, was him. And he
Mhm.
just died April 11th.
Oh.
Oh.
And then the thing I needed to see was, I went to Washington last year. A good friend of mine and his wife live out there, and our youngest son, and we went whale watching, and I got to see a pod of orcas,
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
That's
and
very
it
cool.
was amazing.
That's uplifting
Mhm.
after you brought it down. So,
It was
bad.
so amazing to see. It was amazing to see, and sea otters, and
Oh, I
um
love otters.
yeah, sea lions, and dolphins, and it was just, you know, we
I
saw
love
so
it. Those
much.
dolphins. Dolphins are
Yeah.
ornery.
So I think that's the two things that he meant that I needed to come back for. And
Mhm.
Okay.
so, yeah.
Well, you're not finished
Hey,
yet.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
for sure.
I'm not finished yet. I've got more things to do.
Well,
So,
if you
It's
got,
just
especially if you got abilities, if you're able to use them, do you ever use them to? I say you don't like to use them for investigating because you want to use a scientific approach. Thumbs up from me on that. But how else do you use it then? Do you use it actually to help people or any
yeah,
of that?
when people call me, a lot of times when I'm on the phone, I will hear voices over the phone.
Oh,
mhm,
cool.
Um,
mhm.
mhm.
and
That's how phones work.
I will ask them how, if there's somebody else there with them,
Oh,
and they usually say, "No, there's nobody else here with me." And
Mhm.
I'll tell them what the person is saying, and if it's male or female, and, then that kind of, like, solves the whole thing, and we don't have to go do an investigation.
Yeah.
that's
That,
Mhm.
awesome. That is a
Yeah.
I've had the
cool
same
habit.
experiences, but they're not over the phone. As far, I mean, I'm on the phone with somebody, but I'm not hearing voices on the phone line itself. They're just popping in.
Yeah,
You know, it's
Same.
just, they're
and
like
Yeah.
they
popping in.
pop in my head too.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then you can. It's like I'm being guided to tell them something,
yeah.
Mhm.
and like you say, I think I've probably turned down because I helped them over the phone maybe over a dozen times, in the
Yeah.
past 15, 20 years, whatever. So
Oh,
that is
I've turned
that is
down
pretty
way more than that,
well.
because I
Well,
can I get it in my head.
yeah,
They tell me, and
Mhm.
somebody just totally trashed me on our Facebook page, saying that there was no way that I could help somebody in another state.
Of course
yeah.
you can. Of course you can. You're lucky that they are in your head, though. Whenever I do readings, they pop up in my house, and sometimes they don't want to leave. So it's
Yeah,
good times.
that's the problem. And
Mhm.
I sometimes some come to me and I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
then there's other times we'll be standing in line at the grocery store and it pops in my head and I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh
that's the
no.
worst.
Do I tap
Especially
this?
like it.
Do I tap this
Yeah,
person on the
excuse me.
shoulder? Excuse me. Do you
And
know?
Anita would.
Big big box places are the worst, like Walmart and stuff. I can only go in there for like 20 minutes. I'm like, I got in and out because it's just too
Yeah, it's
overstimulating.
just too much. It's just
Yeah.
too much. Yeah.
I agree.
That would be.
But
Super.
yeah, I have zero sensitivity.
Yeah, we can tell. No
No
kidding.
Humans are wrong.
comment.
I am insensitive.
Hey, Brenda, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You were talking about NDE. I have actually personally known a few people who have gone through NDEs, and I've actually, spoken with them for a few hours on the whole topic, trying to explain to them what I know and what I don't know, because you know less than what you really know. But
Right.
question for you is, a movie came out, I think it was last year or the year before, called After Death.
Oh
Did
yes.
you ever see that movie?
No.
It's I have not, that I'm aware of. I have not gone through an NDE, because I. But anyway, I don't think I have. But it was quite fascinating. What it
Mhm.
explained, what people who have gone through NDEs, what they experience. And I was just wondering if you had seen it and how that might have compared to what your experience was.
No,
So I'm
I
making
haven't
a
seen
note
it.
of a
I
movie.
would like to see that. So I'm gonna have
It's
to see if I can. It's
And it's
called
called After
After Death.
Death.
It's called
That came out in
yeah.
2023.
It's a great movie.
It's
It's
Angel
really
Studios. You should be able to. I
Angels.
don't know if you can get it on their app or nothing. I don't know
Yeah,
where
and
you can
it's
watch it.
supposedly you can see it for free.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
great.
well, I had. I mean, I saw it at the show. It was like $5.
Mhm.
So
I
it was quite fascinating.
when it happened, I didn't say anything to anybody except for my shrink
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay.
because I thought I was crazy, you know.
Yeah.
And I told him, and he said, "You had a near death experience." And
Mhm.
he said, I collect case studies on that." And he said, "If you could write up what happened to you, I would really appreciate it if you'd give it to me. You know, write it up
Hmm.
and give it to me." So that
Mhm.
made me feel a little a little better because
Validated.
I was validated by
Yep.
him telling me that. So
Mhm.
that I wasn't crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I've met people actually in an early age that had gone through it, and actually
Yeah.
my uncle had a bad heart, and he went through it at least, I don't even know, 5, 6 times.
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
During my early teenage years through even up till I was about 20 or 30. And
Yeah.
we actually talked about it, which was just amazing. And then I saw
Wow.
this movie. So,
I'll
yeah.
I
have to
had
watch that.
I had mine when I was 7. I had my appendix almost burst, and it was a beautiful experience. It wasn't scary at all.
Mm.
Yeah, I didn't want, and the only person that calls me sugar is my dad.
Mhm.
Okay.
So then after that, in November, my husband and I went to Washington,
Hmm.
and um, we went out there to see our son and to stay with my friends. And we were on a beach, and I take my camera, I do photography, and I was snapping pictures. The waves were really big when they would hit the shore and they'd splash up. So I had my camera set so that it was just snap, 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 snap,
Hmm.
snap, so
Mhm.
I could get that wave and get
Mhm.
the drops of water and
Hmm.
all of that. And I didn't know that Marcus and Larry had walked off down away from me, and I was standing on the sand, and I heard, "Sugar, shoot over here."
Mm.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I turn around and there's nobody, no people anywhere around. And I turn around, so I just start shooting, and I've got the pictures. They're hanging on my wall out in the hallway,
That is so
Mhm.
cool.
and they're two pictures of an angel.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
Mhm.
Really cool.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Full
Uh,
blown angel.
cool.
Yeah.
I
That's
have
really
a question for you. Is there any place that you'd like to investigate that you haven't been able to yet, or that doesn't exist anymore, or any place, any special place that you'd like to investigate in the future?
I um you know, I would really like to go to Gettysburg.
Mm.
That'd be cool.
Have you not been there?
No,
I haven't either.
If you have any
Mm-mm.
kind of ability, that place would probably make your head spin around.
probably would. It would probably my head would probably
That-
blow up.
I have no ability, and my head was spinning around.
Yeah.
it's a crazy
That
place.
just I would really like to go to Gettysburg. I just because my family's from the South and all of my parents are from Arkansas and all of my family's in Arkansas and um so we're southern, so I would like to go to Gettysburg. And another place I would really love to go would be to New Orleans.
Oh, yes, that's a fun place to go.
Yeah, it
That
is.
would be
Good
an
time.
absolutely awesome place to go.
But hop in your car and get going.
I'm
If only,
disabled now and I can't drive.
Okay, hop in the car
Right.
and have somebody else drive you there.
if
So
only.
my hubby
Hmm.
drives me everywhere
Yeah.
and uh so he and that's how my team started originally was just me and my husband and my two boys.
So he
Hmm.
investigates with you?
Huh?
He investigates with you?
Yeah, he used to, and then he quit for a while, and now he's back because he
Cool.
has to drive me
Hmm.
to go do stuff. So he usually
Cool.
watches the monitors with
He's
Devin.
like it or not, you're coming.
Yeah,
Right. You're stuck with me.
he
Yeah.
usually sits with Devin and watches the monitors, and so that if we see anything, we did discover one new thing. We bought some body cams, like police body cams,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and we caught some really good evidence on our last investigation.
Oh, cool.
Uh,
Wow.
full body apparition and
On a camera?
on a body cam. Yeah,
Huh.
That's awesome.
I
Nice.
I was holding a door open for some girls to go in. It was at a school, this haunted high school
Mhm.
in Effingham, Kansas, and they were going in, and but so one girl went in, and the body cam's triggered by motion. So one girl went in and it triggered, took a picture of her, and then there's a space, and then there's this boy, this full body apparition boy, or teenage boy, and he's standing at the lockers, at the end of the lockers. And then the next picture is the girl that was behind the other girl, and then the other people that went in. And
Mm.
um, we found out that this boy had killed himself recently,
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Oh.
wow.
and it upset us a little bit that we had been called in to do this with the science club because we shouldn't have been asked to do that when that was so fresh.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's crazy.
That was such a fresh experience, or it was such a new thing. I mean, it had only been a couple of months.
Wow.
Gosh.
Ooh.
So this was a school that's actually still a school, not
Yes,
a
it's a school. Yes,
they
and
did it with the science club.
yeah,
That's
Wild.
awesome.
and the science club teacher he's actually on our team, and the school is very haunted. It's very haunted. They,
According to Keith H., schools, hospitals, and churches are the most haunted
you
locations.
know, and women's
Mm.
bathrooms.
Women's
And
bathrooms. I
Oh,
Women's
agree.
yeah.
bathrooms,
I
yes.
Isn't that
agree.
strange?
All
And
bathrooms are haunted because ghosts like to watch you poop. I tell you
I
that's why.
I
theaters.
I got locked in
Oh
a
yeah.
women's bathroom in Iowa, or no, it was in Illinois. I got locked in a women's bathroom in Illinois, and I had to crawl under the door,
Mhm.
and then the big door wouldn't open, and I started screaming for help, and somebody came and they opened the door because the big door doesn't have a lock on it, but it
Mhm.
wouldn't open, and um so somebody came and opened it, and I ran down the hallway and I said, "To hell with this." I was like,
Right?
Mhm.
Wow.
"I'm not going to the bathroom the rest of the night."
No,
My
So,
thing.
definitely not.
and
Brenda, where were you? And I do a lot of investigating in
we
Illinois.
were, it was Mineral Springs and
Oh
Spa.
my God, I was gonna, I was, I that's what I was just thinking because I'm up there a lot.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
wow.
that
Are
place is crazy.
right there on the main floor.
Yep,
Yep,
uh-huh,
yep, down there by
yep,
the banquet room around that corner.
yep,
Yep.
yep.
I've already heard in the men's side. I've heard. I was in there washing my hands, just washing my hands. I
Oh, I
heard.
didn't go back and wash my hands.
Well, no, no, I was in there washing my
Ew.
hands, and well, stop it. And I heard somebody sitting in one of the stalls reading a newspaper, and there
Oh,
was nobody in there but me.
oh my,
That's crazy.
So yeah,
oh my.
Mineral Springs is a pretty awesome place.
It is. We have a FLIR
Mm-hmm.
camera,
Mm-hmm.
and we took the FLIR into the
Sub
swimming
basement.
pool,
Oh, swimming
down
pool. Yep.
into the swimming pool,
Mm-hmm.
and that thing lit up like Christmas tree
Oh, awesome.
down there. We got so many pictures and stuff down there. Um,
Well,
it's crazy how many
se-
we got. And we went with Dan Terry. I don't know
yeah,
if you
I
know
know
Dan
Dan.
Terry.
Yeah,
You know
I know
Dan?
Dan. Mm-hmm.
Dan's taught me a lot.
Yeah,
And
he's a good guy.
Dan is a very good friend of mine. I love Dan to death.
Hey,
And
Dan, if you're watching, sometimes he
yeah,
watches.
hi Dan. I miss you, man. And uh we were in his one of his last books, Too Ornery to Die.
Okay.
That's awesome.
He did it about uh jails
Okay.
and cowboys and things like that. And he went with us to um old Abilene town
Yeah.
because
Okay.
we were going there a lot at the time. And um and sorry for my voice. I've been so sick, and I
Me too. You're fine.
You're doing
I messaged.
great.
I think it was Pam, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You, I messaged yesterday. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this.
You
She's
should
like,
have heard me last weekend. I was a mess. You
oh,
sound wonderful.
oh, I'm so much better today than I was yesterday. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. She goes, it's Monday. It's tomorrow. It's not today.
It
And
worked out.
but Dan went with us. He said, I need a few filler pages to finish my book off. And he went with us to Abilene and drove down, met us, and went to Abilene, Kansas with us. And that man will drive
Oh,
any
forever.
he'll drive any distance. I don't care how far it is.
Yeah.
He'll get in his Jeep and drive any distance. And he
Yep.
doesn't care.
It's awesome.
And he drove down there and met us, and we investigated for, oh my gosh, a good 8 hours. I know it was a good 8 hours. And
Wow.
he we got so much activity, and I was in the hotel with another lady on the team, and we went into one of the rooms, and all these lights started like flickering. I've never seen anything like it before. It was like all these, what do I say, almost like fairies. Like
Yeah.
all these like little fairy
Little
lights.
fairy lights. Okay.
Yeah, it started going all over the place in this room. And then we saw a dark shadow go across the window. and we tried to
Mhm.
talk to it, and we said, we're just here to talk. We're not here to harm you. We're just here to talk to you. And it rushed us and
Mm.
basically shoved us out the door and slammed the door. Well, we
Wow.
ran down the stairs, and I mean, we ran out screaming
Yeah,
because
sure.
it was a violent force.
Mhm.
That is crazy.
And so there was so many things that happened. You'd have to get the book from him and read it. Um,
Okay.
See, someone does that to me. I'm like, oh no, you didn't. And
and so he ended up, the first chapter in the book is Old Abilene Town and Kansas Paranormal Research Society.
That's
all right,
awesome.
Because
Nice.
he got so much information and so much stuff happened that he ended up making a whole new chapter for the first chapter ended up being about the investigation at Abilene.
That's pretty awesome.
And
Mhm.
we had a great investigation there. Yeah.
Yeah,
And um
he's a good guy.
he's a
Hmm.
very good guy. And he's taught, like I said, he taught me a lot when I first started out. And um he used to investigate with us a lot,
Yeah, I
when he
think
lived closer.
he's in North Carolina
Yeah,
now,
it is.
and he has been in Missouri at least 2 or 3 times in the past couple of months.
Has he really?
Yeah, especially down in Herman, which he really likes the, Herman, Missouri
Yeah.
area. That's a great area too.
Yeah, we went
he's
down
going to be at
there.
XCon in Springfield. What did I
Yeah,
say?
Springfield.
Oh, is he?
October 11th. Yes, so he'll be
Cool.
there for that. So
Um,
I'll be there.
Yay.
yeah, um,
Mhm.
we went down, me and a couple of other team members went down and met with him and stayed the weekend, and we, investigated the Capitol building
Missouri
in,
State Penitentiary, Jefferson City.
yeah,
Okay.
and we did that, and then we did, the one where I can't remember the city that he was a sheriff in. We
Oh,
um
Owensville. No, I can't remember. Yeah,
I
but
can't ever, anyway,
it's really close there.
that
Might have
that
been Gerald. I can't remember. But anyway, go ahead.
anyway, that building, that Capitol building, we
Uh huh.
did it, and it had a prison, it had a jail in it that was very haunted, and the whole building was haunted, and we got some crazy stuff, and in there, and we were in the jail cell. All three of us were in the jail cell, and he was using his rods, and we had K2 meters, one on one bunk and one on the other bunk, and they were flashing in sequence with each other every question that we asked. And then all of a sudden we hear this giggle of a little girl right outside the door, and the doors were
Mhm.
all locked. We were the only ones that were in there, and he took off, and one of the guys that was there took off because he was a sheriff's deputy. They took off, pulling their guns off, out of their off their ankle holsters, running
Mhm.
through, thinking that there's somebody, in the building,
But you
and
said it sounded like a little girl.
they're looking everywhere. Who's here? Who's here? And they're checking all the rooms, running up and down the stairs and all that. Um, and it was clear as clear as could be, just this little girl giggle. And we don't know where it came from or why.
That is crazy.
Mhm.
That's too
And
funny.
then we did another um, courthouse and it wasn't anything compared to the one the night before. So, but yeah, we've done a lot of stuff with Dan, and but I think I'm trying to think our our most favorite place and most haunted place to investigate is Abilene, Kansas.
That's
Okay.
awesome. I have not been there, and I want to go there
Yeah, that is
for
the
sure.
most haunted area. And some of the places we've investigated have burned down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
familiar with that.
yeah,
There's been a few of those around.
yeah.
So we don't know if that was our fault or if it
Uh-oh.
was, yeah. Because there was the theater. It was this beautiful old, and used to be a church, and they turned it into a movie theater
Hmm.
and also for plays, and very haunted. And um, we have crazy EVPs from there. Woman screaming. Um, got a video apparition of a man carrying his sweater over his shoulder, walking across the stage, and um, I'm trying to think what it's been so many years since we've been there,
Mm.
and um, we had a ton of different stuff go on there, and I did they had me come and talk there one time and talk about all the evidence that we had gotten, and they had a huge crowd of people in there. It was a geek night,
Yeah.
one of those geek
Hmm.
nights that they have. And they had the other two people go first and had me go last because you're only supposed to get like what 15 minutes or something. And so the other two people got like 15 minutes and then I had an hour
Awesome.
because I played all the EVPs that we had gotten.
That's
And
great.
um yeah, so it was and people were like looking around their shoulder, like you got that like in this room?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we're like, yeah, it was like right over there. And we had a door, the room we were in, after we heard the scream, the side door it swung open and slammed shut. And
I bet the elephant scoopers came out at that one.
my son was with us, and my oldest son, and he goes, "Yeah, I told you, mom. I told you stuff's going on." He didn't say stuff, something else, but
So
he said,
we used to have these things around here locally because people are always asking about where can they investigate, what can they do. So we do little limited things, and we call them paranormal encounters. And I would do a little presentation about the place, and then we do an investigation of the place. And it's kind of fun when you do the if you do the presentation before the investigation, then that kind of like preloads people, and the people who
Yeah.
aren't investigators, they seem to have a great time because everything becomes haunted at that moment. But it was always fun to do. So we got 5 minutes left.
Yeah,
What
we're getting close.
we talked a lot about your investigation. You're just talking about a public event. Do you do public events still, or?
done a lot of public events. I mean, we call them Spooks and Spirits
Mhm.
is the name of our public events. And we usually do them to raise funds for a group,
That's
and
awesome.
so we sell the tickets and collect the money, and then the money goes to, we don't keep any of it. The money goes to um the whoever we're
Whatever
raising,
charity you're working for
whatever
at that time.
charity
Yeah,
we're working for. Yeah.
that's
That's
great.
awesome.
That's
And
fantastic.
we did a fun thing one time for Helping Hands Humane Society, and we ended up getting 60 dogs adopted in one
Oh
day.
yeah, right
Wow,
on!
that's
Yay!
awesome.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
and we had pumpkin contest and auction, and people got to put their name in to try and win the pumpkins, and um, costume contest for the dogs and the whole 9 yards, and
Excuse me.
that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
That
That's
one was.
So
cool.
do you have any
So,
events coming up?
Do we have anything coming up?
Yeah,
No, we
not
were supposed to do the high school again,
yeah.
and I've got. I just found out I've got a tumor on my spine,
Oh no,
oh
that
I'm
no.
so sorry.
so
that puts
um,
that slows everything down really
things are
bad.
kind of on hold right now.
Yeah,
Well,
Um,
I'm sorry to hear that.
that's
yeah,
That's terrible.
and until we get that
Mhm.
taken care of, and I can't really do a whole lot.
yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but my other people can. They
Yeah,
can. So we don't have anything on the books right now. But like I said, since COVID, we haven't really gotten any
It's really slowed down.
requests for. I mean, we get some calls, and usually we can handle it over the phone.
we do most of the things about the phone too. We've pretty
Yeah,
much stopped investigating because we don't have to.
we do. We do it over the phone, and we don't have to go out and investigate anymore. And we're able to handle it over the phone with people. It seems like mostly.
And
And
with your ability, you're also able to help that
yeah,
way too. Yeah. So
yeah,
if
and
somebody wanted to get a hold of you, if they had something hanging around them or something and would like to know more about it, you could help them that way.
yeah, they could call my phone. Of course, well, it'll go to the junk mail, the junk
Yeah.
phone, and they'll leave a voicemail. But they can call my phone at 785-633-3122, and I can't even remember our website because we don't even update it
So
or anything.
best to send you a message on that to that number.
Is
But
there a
but we're
Facebook page?
yes, we've got 2 Facebook pages. One's a private group page, and one is or it's a group. We have a group and we have a page,
Mhm.
and they're both Kansas Paranormal Research Society.
That's how I found you.
Yeah,
Spelled
Mhm.
out.
Kansas
Yes,
I mean,
Paranormal.
spelled all out.
Kansas.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Put that link in the chat there,
Not
Pam.
like abbreviated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to put it through my phone.
Oh
I
my
don't know why
goodness.
I'm not linking.
yeah. It's all spelled out for
Okay.
Facebook. Yeah,
But no, that's
and
fantastic.
if you join the group, then I have to approve your I have to approve you to join.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
were having problems with some people getting in, and
Understood.
you know so
Mhm.
I think we
yeah,
all understand that.
We
Yeah.
yeah.
had that issue too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so
So
the
I guess
page
there's
the
no hope
page
for me to join the
yeah,
group.
the page
Mhm.
the Facebook page we really don't worry about too much. It's like whatever, you know. But the group, that's the meat of our, you know, um team. So that's where we put the majority of our stuff, and when we're gonna have an event and things like
Okay.
that.
But
So
Very
tell
cool.
everybody to find her up, find the team up on Facebook, follow them, give them a like, follow them, and see what's coming
Absolutely.
up. Because I want to go to one of their events. You sound like an awesome person,
thank
and
you
I'm
Yes,
very
very
much.
much
and,
so.
and I'm glad I had an opportunity to meet you. I wish it was in person, but time
Thank
is up. So before we go, it's me
Yeah,
next
you're
week.
next week,
Next
Adrian. What
week.
do
Dun
you
dun
have?
dun
And
dun.
yes, I have supposed to have Paragold Paranormal on next week. He said maybe. It's a definite maybe. It's what they told me. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, definitely maybe it'll be them. Hang around, Brenda. Don't go nowhere.
Okay,
And everybody, same time next week.
Thanks
Bye.
for watching, guys.
Night,
Oh,
everybody.
see you,
If
world.
I find
Stay,
the
stay
thing I
amok.
need.
Stay
Bye.
amok.